Die, Alan! Ah! What are you looking at? Hello there guys, and welcome to Minecraft 1.5, the Redstone update with me, RoboticLizard. Today I'm going to be showing you everything that's been added since 1.4.7 in the weekly snapshots of 2013. So we're going to start off here today with a trip to the Nether, to take a look at a new ore that's being added. Here we go. It's called Nether Quartz ore and spawns all over the place. It's hard to not find it, although you do have to be in new chunks. So this is Nether Quartz right here. I'm going to take a bit of that as well. And so you can see it's pretty much everywhere. You can't go around a corner without seeing another vein of the stuff. But anyway, let's go back out to here and we'll take a look at one of the new items that was added, the Redstone comparator. And what this does is here's its crafting recipe: 3 stone along the bottom, 3 redstone torches and 1 piece of nether quartz. Now what this does is it compares redstone signals. So if input A here is stronger or equal to input B, then the redstone current can pass through. But if this is stronger, then it won't. So if we apply a signal strength of 3 here and a signal strength of 4 here, 1 being the strongest, then it can pass through. However, if we change this one to 4 and this one to 3, this is now stronger than that one, and so the signal can't pass through. One thing to note though, it's not dependent on how many levers are present, because if this is on, it's outputting a signal strength of 2, whereas if these both are on, the strongest it can be is 3, so it can still go through. So it's based on proximity as opposed to the number of levers. Next up we have the item hopper, which holds 5 slots of items and is crafted like so, with 5 iron ingots and chest. And what this does is it sucks in items that you drop on top of it if they wouldn't fall on the floor. So you can see them just disappearing into the hopper. And they'll go through the hopper and into this chest here. And one goes around the back there. Also, if you were to put them in this chest, they would be sucked through this hopper. There's only one in here because they're going in at the same rate as they're going out. If I just take this one, you can see another one goes in with it. And then they get passed through into this chest. So if I just put these straight in here, you can see them going out and into the chest below. It can also be affected by a redstone signal, so if I put this in here and then switch this lever on, it's now completely stuck in the position that it's in. So if I were to take those out and put them back in again, you can switch the redstone off and they're going through again. So I'm just going to take these out. There we go. And moving on to a new block similar to the hopper, this is a dropper. You can see it looks a bit like a dispenser with a smiley face, but that also does look like the hopper itself. It's crafted like a dispenser but without the bow in the middle. Originally there was a hopper there, which really shows where that shape comes from. So instead of a dispenser where it will simply fire out arrows, it just drops them, as the name dropper implies. So instead of firing the arrow and hitting me with it, it simply drops out the item. And it does this with anything that a dispenser would normally fire at you. There have also been some changes to dispensers, and if I just grab some bone meal, seeds, carrots and potatoes, you can see that first off there are some changes with bone meal in that it takes 2 to 3 to grow any given plant. So 1, 2 to grow that, 1, 2 to grow that, and 1, 2, 3 to grow that. And same with carrots and potatoes, they take different, between 2 and 3 to grow. But dispensers can also dispense out bone meal. So if I do this, you can see that these have started to grow. And so the carrots are completely grown now, the potatoes aren't, and the wheat isn't. So I just use one more, and they're all fully grown. It also takes more bone meal to grow sapling. So usually it would only take 1, now it takes 1, 2. I've seen anywhere between 2 and 7 to grow a sapling into a tree. It can also be used to apply armor. So these chests all have a piece of armor in them. And so if I break this, because I had that there to stop mobs, you can see that as soon as I step into here, the armor gets dispensed straight onto me. Dispensers and droppers can also now be placed vertically, so either upwards or downwards. So if we fire this, and then this one, something interesting is that an arrow fired from this one causes the one that's already in this dispenser, like fired into it. It causes it to switch places and fall down. I don't think it works the other way though. Yeah, it doesn't. Let's collect those up. This is the point in the video where the explosions come in. So we've got 2 new minecarts and a new rail, which I'll get onto in a second. But this minecart with hopper acts similarly to an item hopper, in which it'll pick up items scattered along the track. So if I press this button, it'll collect up all of those items. I think if you set it to go over some chests or dispensers, droppers, etc., it will filter straight into those as well. Now we get to the fun part. This is an activator rail and is crafted using 6 iron ingots and 2 sticks of redstone torch, and I'm just going to activate this, and as soon as the TNT in a minecart passes over this activator rail, it will ignite. Something interesting to note, it won't blow up any blocks that have minecart tracks on top of them. The crafting recipes for the minecart with hopper and minecart with TNT are simply a minecart with a TNT or hopper above it. So let's go back down there. And the next thing is the block of redstone, crafted very simply just using 9 pieces of redstone in a square. And what this does is it provides a constant power source that can be moved by pistons, which gives it an advantage over a redstone torch. Of course, it can't change inverter signal, so that's one thing that you'll need a redstone torch for. But if we do this, you can see that it can be moved by pistons. Next up we have the daylight sensor, which is crafted like so, with any wood slab, 3 nether quartz and 3 glass blocks. And this detects how bright the sunlight is, not just whether it is daytime or not, because you can see that it's getting towards evening now, and so it's only outputting a short signal length, only to get as far as here. So only 2 of these lamps are on, but if I do time set 6000, then at midday the light is strong enough for all of these to switch on. This could be used for some good contraptions, such as this automatic nighttime setter. Basically, as soon as the signal strength from this daylight sensor isn't strong enough to reach here and unpower this redstone torch switches on and activates this command block with a time set 0 command. So if I go time set 18,000, which is midnight, the redstone torch switched on and this came on. If I go time set 11,900, then it should be easy to see, because it's going to get dark enough in just a second. So you can see that as soon as this switches off, the redstone torch switches on, activates the command block, and then the light is strong enough to reactivate this. Also, you can make some pretty cool lamps. In this example we have a daylight sensor atop a sticky piston facing downwards with a redstone block on the end. Now during the day, the daylight sensor powers the piston, which pushes the redstone block down, thus unpowering the lamps. But as soon as we go into night, and I'm just going to get rid of this redstone torch for a second, then time set, actually I can just go back to here. During the night, that retracts and the lamps rather, are powered. So we'll just put that back there, set it back to day, and move on to the next thing, the trapped chest. This is crafted simply using a chest with a piece of tripwire. And you can see that when I pick block on this, it gives me a regular chest, and on this it gives me a trapped chest. Now you can see a slight difference around the lock. And that this one is actually, this is using the texture for the 32x texture pack. Let me just switch over. You can see that this one is a little bit more red around the lock. You can see that when I open this, it doesn't do anything. But when I open this one, it activates a redstone signal that fires a dispenser. You can also see that it only says chest, so it doesn't give it away. But this can be used interestingly for trap chests and hoppers, whereby if you place items in here, it won't get sucked out until you leave the chest. You can see now that they're going through, and there are 9 in here, but now that I've opened this trap chest, no more are going through. So there are 46, I'll leave it for a moment, and there are 41, but again no more are going through. So let's take those back and move on to the last redstone related item for this update, the light and heavy pressure plates. Now this one's crafted using 2 gold ingots horizontally, this one 2 iron ingots horizontally. Soon you'll create a wooden or stone pressure plate. And what these do is they don't react to the player or mobs standing on them, but only items. So if I start placing these on, one always activates the first one. Then it takes another 1, 2, 3, 4 to activate the second piece of redstone, and 1, 2, 3, 4 to activate the third. However, with the heavy one, 1 activates the first piece of redstone and then takes a whopping 42 more. So if we give ourselves 42 here, there. If we drop 41 of those, it's not going to activate the next one, but if we drop this last one, it's going to take 42 in total to reach the second one. So to go between each strength of signal, it's going to take 42 items, which is why they call it the heavy pressure plate. Next we have some more things to do with nether quartz, where you can actually use these in a square like so to create blocks of nether quartz. So let's go to the slab first. 3 horizontally will give you quartz blocks. Sorry, 3 quartz blocks horizontally will give you quartz slabs, and these can be placed either in a full block or on the lower or upper halves of the block. You can use quartz blocks in a pattern like this to create stairs, which can be placed in corner varieties as well as upside down. Using 2 quartz slabs, one above the other, gives you this chisel quartz block, which I think looks really nice. You could make some great looking buildings with this. As with this pillar quartz made by 2 quartz blocks vertically, which also can be placed like wood blocks. So the last thing over here is snow. You can actually craft snow layers in exactly the same way as any other half slab, but with snow blocks. And what you can do with these is stack them up to any height in 8ths. So unlike regular half slabs where it's only 2 for a block, you can now stack up to 8 for one block. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is a half slab, you can walk on top of that. 5 you can walk on top of that as well. 6 is when it gets impossible. 7, 8, that's a full block, and then 9 gives you the next layer. You can jump on 9 and jump on 10, but 11 you can't. So you can clicking on the side one adds it to that block. You can't put them on the top sides of the block, they have to have pieces of snow underneath them in order for that to work. But it seems as though there's a bit of a bug, because if you place any number from 2 to 7 on one block and then click on the side of another block next to it, you'll lose 1, but they'll go down to 1. So that seems like it could be a bug. I'll have to tweet Jeb about that. But yeah, that's the snow blocks. There are only a few things left now, such as some new inventory management. Say you wanted to spread a stack of items equally amongst a certain number of slots, you just hold down the left mouse button and you can spread these equally among these slots. You double click, you have to place it down and then double click to collect everything up, and you can hold right click instead to spread them one over each block space, inventory space, whatever. So this can be useful for crafting half slabs. Say instead of going half that and you get 16, 16 and 32, then you have to half that and you'll lose 4 out of each of those, and then you can make the final half slab and have 1 left over. Instead of doing that, all you have to do is hold down left click, done, you can make 21 and have 1 left over. Easy. There's also a new item called nether brick. You simply smelt netherrack in a furnace and it gives you this nether brick, and 4 of those in a 2x2 square will give you a block of nether brick. There have been some changes to the way mobs work in anvils as well as blocks. So if you were to place a block in here and rename it, it can give you a different block. That's how I got those droppers to say crafting recipe at the top. But I need levels for this, so I'll activate the command block under here, which is called have some XP. So I now have XP. I can rename this cow spawn egg to say horse, and when I spawn it, it'll give me a cow with the name tag horse. You can also rename things like villages. Say I wanted to call this Squidward, and I can spawn him in. Hey look, he's Squidward. What kind of trade? 4 diamonds for an emerald. If you have plenty of diamonds, that could be a good trade, but as long as you only have, have trades like chain armor on offer. I wouldn't buy any armor other than chain for emeralds. Anyway, and say I wanted to change this skeleton spawn egg to, say, Alan or something. You can do that, and then actually I need to change the get rid of the daylight reset thing. Let's get rid of that, and then if we come back over here, if we go /time set, say 18,000 again, back to midnight, then we can spawn this in, and he's Alan, and then if I let him kill me, you'll see that in the chat it says I was killed by Alan. However, you might notice that from further back he shoots me every couple of seconds, but from closer up they've changed mobs so that they're harder to attack, so at close up range he shoots a lot quicker. Come at me, bro. He's starting on us. Did that just go straight through me? Actually, I want to change back to this. There, and you can see down here I was shot by Alan. So Alan, where are you? Why's my sprint not working? Die, Alan! Is he invincible? Alright, I don't know what's going on here. Certificate, shield me. Squidward. Squidward. Shield me. Shield me. Shield me, Squidward. Why won't you die? I'm gonna have to switch game mode to see if I can kill him right. No? I suppose I can just go to peaceful. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to survival. So yeah, that's all the additions to items and mobs and stuff. There are a few new chat options, so if you go into multiplayer settings, you can change the scale, which is how big it appears on screen. If you want the chat size of normal, but the inventory size of large GUI scale, then this is how you do it. Focused height is how much of it you can see when you have the chat open. Unfocused height is how much you can see when you're in game, and the width obviously is the width. Does it need explanation? No. The texture pack button has been moved from the main menu to the options screen, so from here, similar to the Optifine mod. That's why when you first download 1.5 the main menus might seem just a little bit empty. There are new commands, /scoreboard and /effect, so if I start... Actually, I'm going to put the daylight sensor back on first. Here we go. Right, so if we do /scoreboard, and then you can see we have objectives, players and teams. I'm not going to go greatly into depth, but I'm going to show you how to set up one very quickly. Objectives, and add an objective, and then you want to name it, say score 1. This is what you'll use when you're typing the commands. Player kill count is how many players you've killed, total kill count is players and mobs. Dummy is one that can be used for mini games and stuff to keep track of which plays which. Health, I'm not sure how that one works. and death count, obviously the number of times you died. I'm not sure if that increases or decreases every time you die. And then you have to put a name that will display it, so kills in all caps. And then if I go back to /objectives and set display, list gives it in the tab list when you press the tab button and it shows the number of players online. Sidebar, you'll see that in a second, shows it on the side, on the right hand side. And below name, I'm not sure, but that might have something to do with the names that appear above your head. And then score 1. So as soon as I kill a mob, it will show up as a kill. So bye horse. Nope, can't eat the horse meat. Oh well. So that's the basics of this scoreboard system. If you want more in-depth stuff, then I would recommend going to Seth Bling's video on that, because it will be more in-depth and show off a lot more of the things you can do with that. The effect command, I nearly bypassed this, /effect, and then @A for every player or a certain player's name. And then you need to type in the potion ID, so say I went for 1, which is swiftness, a duration, which is 10 seconds, and then say I wanted a level 2, I would put in 1, because 0 or no number there will give a level 1 speed push. So that gives me speed 2 for 10 seconds. So mobs and entities can ride other mobs and entities. So if you wanted to ride on a pig riding in a minecart, riding on a bat, then, you know, go ahead, be my guest. Flying pigs. There you go. That does require MC edit though. Again, Seth Bling will have a better video on that. And leaving servers in a vehicle brings the item with you. So if you're riding in a minecart and you leave the server, then no one will be able to steal that minecart. I've been on a server once where I've been disconnected whilst in the middle of the ocean and lost the boat completely. So yeah, hopefully this fixes that. But yeah, that's everything for this video. If you want to download the new 1.5 update, it will be available in the Minecraft launcher on Wednesday the 13th of March. It will be available in the launcher on Wednesday the 13th of March, and you can download the pre-release from mojang.com, and I'll include a link to that in the description. For my channel, I will be starting a survival series very soon, starting with 1.5. I think I might wait until Optifine is released for 1.5, because as you've just seen, you know, it's a pretty laggy update given that it's all redstone based. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Horse meat.